I got sent home early yesterday. I got sent home early today by the same person. I'm telling you, she's a bully. This shit isn't funny. She needs to understand that just because she's a mother and got children doesn't mean that she can come in the store, disrespecting people, talking to them like everybody's beneath her. She has no respect. And it isn't funny at all. Like, seriously, man, I got shit I gotta take care of. And she keeps sending me home early. It's not funny. She's playing games. And then all day, throughout the day, she keeps saying her little racial shit. And then throughout the day, she keeps on like putting negative energy in the air, talking about people, gossiping about people. It's not funny, man. That shit gonna have to stop. She's a bully. I'm telling you. She's a bully. She brings a lot of negative energy in there. She always panic when there's a lot going on, and then she try to manipulate that and make it seem like we ain't doing something right, but we are working really hard and doing great. It's just the fact that she panicked, and I caught her a few times making a mistake, and she tried to hurry up and play it off. Nobody's perfect. It's fucking McDonald's. It happens. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes, like, somebody might get confused. So fuck, it gets busy, yeah. But she needs to stop playing like she don't be making mistakes. I be catching her. So all that animosity and shit that she keep putting in the air and stuff, then trying to tell me, I'm always snapping on people. No, that's false. No, I don't snap on people. I don't go in there doing that. I tell her, no, I make peace. That's what I'm doing. I've been creating peace. So all that negative energy that she's bringing in there and trying to manipulate it, no, that's going to stop. All that negative shit she's saying about, her personal life, all of that. No, she's bringing all of that in there and then playing games saying she want to take her belt off and beat somebody. Y'all act like my kids in here. No, we ain't your kids. Respect us. Stop talking to us like that. That shit is crazy. I'm telling you. But to get sent home 2 days in a row, man, and I came in on my off day to make up my time, and she still sends me home early, it's not funny. Somebody will have to do something about that. It's not funny. It's not fair. It isn't funny at all. So, she could keep being a bully if she wants to, but that shit is going to catch up to her. Because it ain't funny at all. It ain't. My mama is gone. It's not fair. It's not fair.
On July 10th, 2025, a deeply tragic event unfolded at a McDonald's in East Point, Michigan.
An update to a breaking story we have been following the last few hours out of East Point, where police say an employee stabbing her own manager to death. This all happening inside a McDonald's on 9 Mile. That's where we find Fox 2's Camille Amiri joining us with the latest. Camille, a lot coming out of this.
Yeah, absolutely. We just spoke with the victim's daughter, who is absolutely beside herself. You're going to be hearing from her later today on our newscast, Fox 2 News at 5 o'clock. But first of all, let's break down what happened. And I think you've got some video that you can show. This was around 8 o'clock this morning here at the McDonald's in East Point on 9 Mile. There was some sort of verbal altercation between this manager and an employee who, incidentally, the daughter says they were friends, that they were friendly. The employee goes home, according to police, gets a knife, comes back, stabs the manager. We've learned her name is Jennifer Harris, 39 years old, 6 children, a single mom, working here for 15 years, stabs her to death. And then somebody in the drive-thru, this is happening in the area of where the employees are working in the drive-thru section of the fast food restaurant. Somebody going through the drive-thru, a CPL holder, sees everything happen. He shoots his gun in the air to try to stop everything. Unfortunately, he is not successful in doing so. But as the suspect is running out of the McDonald's, the police say that the man with the gun actually ran after her and held her at gunpoint until police arrived. She was arrested. Unfortunately, Jennifer Harris, 39 years old, died once she arrived at a hospital, multiple stab wounds. We did talk to an employee. Here's what she had to say about this horrible tragedy.
She left for 5 minutes. She came back with a mask on her face, and the only thing I seen was her hands. That's how I knew it was her. And she started stabbing her, and I ran for help, and basically asking everybody like help or whatever. I tried to stop her. It was no stopping her. She stabbed her everywhere.
A routine workday turned fatal when 26-year-old Afeni Badu Muhammad allegedly returned to the restaurant after being sent home and fatally stabbed her manager, 39-year-old Jennifer Harris. Jennifer Harris was a longtime employee of McDonald's and the mother of 6 children. She had worked at the same location for 15 years and was described as a hard worker and consistent presence in the restaurant. In the wake of this tragedy, the internet has been quick to judge. Many have criticized Muhammad, pointing out her appearance, some calling it an emo rock aesthetic and using it to shame or dismiss her. But instead of fixating on individual blame or judging who was right or wrong, particularly between 2 Black women, it is more productive to examine how both Jennifer Harris and Afeni Muhammad, as working-class Black women within a large corporate structure, were likely carrying immense and often invisible burdens. The presence of intercultural trauma intersecting with pervasive classism within the workplace only increases these pressures, making it incredibly difficult for individuals to understand or truly support one another, even when both are grappling with systemic disadvantages. The truth is, you never really know what someone is going through. That's why it's important to extend grace, especially in a society where mental health struggles are often overlooked or mocked. This economy is brutal. For working class Black women, this brutal economy often intersects with historical inequities, making them particularly vulnerable to financial instability and the emotional toll of demanding low-wage jobs. Constantly being scheduled and sent home early or having your hours cut can feel deeply personal, even if it isn't. For someone already battling depression, anxiety, or instability, it can be triggering, especially when the job is fast-paced, stressful, and emotionally taxing. I worked in fast food, and I know firsthand what it's like to be harassed by customers and coworkers, to clock in despite exhaustion, to smile when you're falling apart inside. And that pressure doesn't let up. As Ricardo Aguilar notes, fast food workers are often in a fast-paced environment. Stress and tension can build in the blink of an eye, and orders can rack up on screens over a short period of time. All the while, employees are expected to keep a friendly smile and attitude up. Not only can these factors affect mental and emotional health, but it can affect behaviors at home. This kind of invisible labor, emotionally regulating yourself while moving fast and getting little recognition, can compound the effects of poor pay, limited hours, and job insecurity. It's not just a job. For many, it's survival under pressure with no outlets. And for someone already on edge, even being sent home early can feel like rejection or punishment. That said, I also understand how fast food environments can escalate tensions. Managers and employees often have clashing personalities. It's also crucial to acknowledge that managers, especially women in positions of limited power within large corporations, are often caught between stringent business demands and the needs of their staff. They too face immense pressure to maintain productivity and might have little autonomy or support in addressing complex employee issues like mental health or underperformance, with true grace as a first option. According to Dr. Chelsea Carter, Black women in corporate leadership face layered challenges tied to both race and gender. Alongside daily responsibilities and family obligations, they must navigate the compounded effects of racism and sexism. For Black women in leadership roles, this intersectionality becomes even more pronounced. Their leadership styles often blend influences from white male leadership models to traits commonly associated with middle-class American women, while also reflecting culturally specific approaches unique to Black womanhood. Despite their qualifications, Black women often encounter obstacles that hinder career growth. These include implicit bias, limited mentorship opportunities, exclusion from influential social networks, and being assigned low status or less visible tasks. These barriers make it more difficult for them to access roles with greater responsibility. Importantly, Black women do not experience these challenges in isolation. They must manage the overlapping impacts of multiple forms of discrimination, making their path to leadership advancement uniquely complex and often more burdensome than that of their peers. In hindsight, maybe Harris and Muhammad needed a mediated conversation or team meeting. If Muhammad was underperforming, Offering her reduced hours, weekend shifts, or extra training might have helped. And if improvement didn't follow, letting her go with dignity would have been a fair next step, in my opinion. But again, we don't know what their dynamic truly was. What might feel like firm management to one person could feel like bullying to someone who's mentally vulnerable. In fact, research shows that misreading emotional cues, particularly interpreting neutral or corrective behavior as anger, can lead to aggressive or antisocial reactions. This phenomenon, known as anger bias, is common among individuals under psychological distress and has been directly linked to poor conflict resolution and heightened aggression in social settings. If Muhammad was already in a mentally fragile state, it's possible that she perceived hostility or rejection even where none was intended and reacted impulsively as a result. It's especially heartbreaking because from what little we've seen, it seemed that Rising Phoenix was her alter ego or musician name, basically her reported alias, and she used music as a way to escape or express herself. I really wish she had stuck to that path and had access to professional help. So many people turn to creative outlets like music as a form of coping, but without guidance or mental health support, that release isn't always enough. We also can't ignore how unique or expressive Black girls are often teased, misunderstood, or labeled as weird or crazy. There's a long history of erasing or mocking Black girls who don't fit the mold, especially those who are introverted, artsy, emotionally intense, or stylistically different. This dehumanization often stems from a societal discomfort with Black girls who deviate from prescribed norm, deny them the space for complex emotional expression or unique identity formation without being pathologized or dismissed. While the emo rock aesthetic may seem niche, may seem limited within the Black community, embracing alternative subcultures like emo, punk, or goth can be a powerful and often defiant form of self-expression for others. It can signify a search for authentic emotional outlets and community for those who feel marginalized by mainstream expectations, blending traditional alternative styles with elements unique to Black culture and experience. If she was experiencing bullying, whether subtle or overt, that likely only worsened her mental state and sense of isolation. Scholar Maya Kotomori captures this reality, stating, Black goth girls are not represented in goth subculture because Black girls are not represented outside of stereotypes of Black womanhood and dominant culture. Even in justifying a placement for Black girls within the goth subculture, the issue of how hegemony's omnipresence penetrates all aspects of culture and visual performance is not addressed, it is excused. In other words, even in alternative or outsider spaces, Black girls are often still marginalized. So if Muhammad found comfort in a non-traditional aesthetic or musical identity, she may have still been met with dismissal, ridicule, or misunderstanding, adding another layer of social invisibility to what she was already carrying. This othering can amplify feelings of isolation for Black emo girls already contending with the intense, dehumanizing pressures of low-wage work. When one's identity is already misunderstood and mocked, seeking support for mental health struggles in the workplace becomes even more daunting. And then there's the economic side of it. I also heard that Rising Phoenix once acknowledged she didn't feel prioritized as a single woman without children when it came to setting up her hours. Sadly, I've noticed that dynamic in many work settings. Some employers assume that because you don't have kids, your time is more flexible or your needs are less urgent. Single people are often expected to understand when hours are reduced or sacrificed for someone with a family, as if life isn't hard for everyone. And while certain resources might be more accessible for single people, in some situations, there really is no safety net for single child-free people in our society. Their pressure and emotional invalidation adds up. No one should be forced into a silent competition over who deserves compassion, stability, or hours. Yet that's often the hidden emotional toll placed on managers and even more so on the staff. Tragically, this event is not as isolated as it may seem. According to OSHA, or the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, workplace violence includes not just physical assault, but also verbal threats and harassment, all of which are prevalent in fast food environments. A report by Deborah Berkowitz exposes the alarming frequency of such violence at McDonald's locations, drawing from data in cities like St. Louis and Chicago, as well as employee testimonies across the country. It reveals that McDonald's has repeatedly failed to ensure safe working conditions for its staff. This crisis of violence is further illuminated by a recent analysis by Jessica Fu. Her report, drawing from 911 call logs across major fast food chains in California, found that between 2017 and 2020, McDonald's, Burger King, Carl's Jr., and Jack in the Box locations were the sites of at least 77,000 violent or threatening incidents. These incidents, ranging from assaults to verbal threats, demonstrate a pervasive and predictable danger. As Fu notes, many more workers describe living in fear as a result of threats from customers or being emotionally shaken by violent incidents they witnessed, underscoring that the burden of this pervasive violence is disproportionately borne by fast food workers. The Berkowitz report notes that McDonald's stores often operate later hours than their competitors, increasing exposure to violence, especially during late night shifts. Employees report a lack of standard safety training, minimal conflict de-escalation protocols, and the absence of basic hazard prevention tools like panic buttons, cash handling systems, and secure drive-through designs. Despite clear warnings and a pattern of incidents, McDonald's has systemically failed to implement proactive preventative measures like comprehensive mental health support, fair scheduling practices, and robust ongoing de-escalation training that could mitigate the underlying stresses leading to such tragedies. This failure demonstrates not just negligence, but a systemic disregard for the safety and humanity of its workers. This neglect extends beyond physical security to a fundamental lack of psychological safety and inclusion. As the state of Black women in corporate America report emphasizes, an inclusive workplace is one in which Black women and all other employees with marginalized identities feel a strong sense of belonging. This starts with ensuring that every employee feels safe. Companies need to make it clear that disrespectful behavior won't be tolerated, and employees need to feel empowered to speak up when they witness sexism, racism, and other forms of discrimination. But simply policing bad behavior isn't enough. It's also critical that companies take proactive steps to make Black women feel welcome and valued. McDonald's, like many corporations, appears to fall short on these foundational principles, increasing the already immense strain on its most vulnerable employees. I'm going to play some public opinion, and then I'm going to conclude.
I really like talking about things that's in the news, but this one particular story has stuck out to me. It's about this young lady named Official Risen Phoenix, and recently she unalived her manager at McDonald's by the manager 10 times in the face. And according to her and all her posts on Instagram, she was being bullied. And of course, being bullied is not an excuse or reason to unalive somebody. But I took away 3 things from this story that I wanted to share with y'all. 1, bullying is real. And I know it's real because I've seen so many people, like hundreds and hundreds of comments talking about this girl, about the way she dressed, talking about her wigs, talking about her clothes, calling her weird, calling her crazy. And it made me think, possibly she was being bullied at work, okay? She could have very well been bullied at work, because the people open their mouth talking about her this badly online, I'm sure it's people in real life talking badly about this girl, especially around her to her face. If you work any type of job around people, you know there are people who gossip and talk mess all day, behind your back and to your face. I have not worked a job where I have not seen or experienced that happening to someone else, because I don't play that. 2, I will also say this, devil's advocate, she might not have been bullied. By looking at her page, I can also see that she was not all the way there. I'm not even going to say that, all the way there, as people would say. I can tell that she possibly may be schizophrenic. And if you've actually dealt with people who are schizophrenic, or you know someone who deals with people who are schizophrenic in real life, not just online, then you know that they may make up stories that to us is making up, but to them it's very real, and there's nothing you can say or do to convince them that it's not. So either 2 things happened. She was either being bullied for real at work, or
because of a mental disorder. She wasn't, and she thought that she was. Which brings me to 3. I also looked at her page and I saw the things she was posting. And I'm someone who knows a lot about the occult and the spiritual community. And one thing that I always tell people is stop diving deep into paths and into different type of practices that you don't know anything about, because spiritual psychosis is real. Matter of fact, someone who was a big spiritualist online, maybe a year or 2 ago, she ended up unaliving herself and her children because she had a spiritual psychosis. And just knowing these things, these 3 things, could be a spiritual psychosis, could be bullying, or she could be schizophrenic. Knowing these things, I don't feel empathy for her because someone lost their life, but it just really reminded me that you never know what people are going through. You never know what people are going through. And we as a people need to practice being kind to one another again. Like, what the fuck happened to being nice to your neighbor? What happened to treat others the way you want to be treated? Nowadays, and I blame social media, people be feeling too bold doing all of this, and they think that nothing can happen to them because they're behind, a little pad. They behind their phone, they behind their laptop. And then when they get in real life, they carry that same attitude and that same mindset. And that is not the real world, baby, especially not in 2025. So whoever's seeing this and you came to the end, I want to encourage you to be kind to people, because you never know what they're going through. You never know what they're going through.
And another thing that I'm going to say, can y'all stop saying why she couldn't just get another job? Like, do y'all not understand? It's not always that easy to get another job. Me, anytime I have worked jobs in the past years, I'm a nail tech, so I do nails. So if I get a job, it's optional. A lot of people I've worked with, that it isn't optional for them. Like, they need every dime. You don't know how people are living out here. You don't know where they're living at. Like, you don't know people. So for y'all to keep saying why she didn't get another job, why she didn't do this, it's not always that easy. It's not. And y'all work jobs and y'all know that. Like, everybody isn't tough. I'm a tough person, but guess what? I've worked around people that aren't so tough. I've worked around people that even if they get tough, it's a emotional type of tough, and emotional toughness is very dangerous, because if you're emotionally tough, that's when you can do the worst things out of your emotions. Like, y'all don't be knowing, like, y'all be working around people that have nothing to lose. Like, you might think just because a person has a job that they don't have anything to lose, but sometimes people don't care about their job. Sometimes people got way worse or deeper things going on to where they don't care about losing a job. Like, and if they have to lose their job, you're going to lose your job too, type of sense. If you get it, you get it.
Hey, look, man, I'm finna tell y'all something straight up. This is about Afina Muhammad, you know what I'm saying? Rising Phoenix and the Jennifer Harris situation, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you, shout. Hey, man, my condolences go out to Jennifer Harris and her kids and her family, man. You know what I'm saying? It really do, because this was definitely an unfortunate situation. But is anybody else listening to what Shawty was saying? This girl said, listen, Shawty was taking her belt off, talking about she was gonna whoop them like they were her kids. And Shawty said, look, we're not your kids. You're not finna bully us. And I get it. They don't condone you going and doing what you did. But what I'm saying is, did y'all hear what she said when she was venting on her page? I'm talking about Rising Phoenix. I'm talking about Afina Muhammad. She say, Shawty, you keep cutting my hours. I got things I got to do. We all know she bad shit crazy. But one thing about them folks that's crazy, they know what the fuck they talking about. Now, let me tell y'all something. This is really how I feel. Y'all better be glad she didn't get fired that day and was sent home. I'm going to tell you why. Because if she would have came in there that day and been fired, all y'all would have got the motherfucking woohoo. All y'all would have been up out of there. She would have came in there on a massacre. You know what a massacre is? Yeah, she would have came in there on a massacre. So y'all better be glad that it was her getting sent home and she took that shit out on that goddamn lady. Now I'm gonna tell you something. I get it. Jennifer Harris, 39 years old, mother of 6. This girl, Afeni Muhammad. I don't even know where the fuck she got that name from, but I do know. I'm gonna break it down on part 2. Afeni Muhammad. She actually did some stuff like that in 2022 and went on the run, and she renamed herself Afeni Muhammad. Them facts. Them facts. Them facts. But my thing is this, y'all. She said what was going on. You bullying people. You disrespecting people. You talking about taking your belt off. Shawty even said that Jennifer Harris pulled the pow on her kids, came to work, and told them about it. Hold on.
That McDonald's worker did not get bullied. Her getting put in her place, her being told what to do and what not to do, made her angry. If y'all listen and watch every video that girl made, because she clearly didn't have any friends or maybe family to talk to, so any incident she would go on to record and post. And most of the things she got in trouble for was because of things that she wasn't supposed to be doing, like arguing with customers. Y'all watch the videos and y'all see, y'all keep saying the manager bullied her. How do y'all know that? Why? Because she made multiple videos saying that the manager bullied her and she snapped? Is that why? Okay? I'm not believing none of that. Like I said, she look like one of them girls, you say one thing to her, she get offended, she get upset, she think you bullying her. Like, if y'all literally watch the video that she posted herself, certain things, it's like, girl, you mad for what? Y'all keep defending. Cool. Everybody got their opinion. But I pray to God, you or your family member don't ever be in that predicament where you're a manager somewhere and somebody's so angry with you, they want you. Okay?
While we talking about what happened with Jennifer Harris and what happened at McDonald's, let me tell y'all something about these youngsters too. Y'all are so lazy. And when somebody tell y'all to do something, it may feel like somebody disrespecting you or handling you bad. But y'all, that don't be the case. Y'all are lazy. These children are lazy nowadays. We was not this lazy. I can ask my children to do something, baby. They move us like snails. By the time I'm asking you to do this, baby, I done did 5 other things. You still ain't did what I asked you to do. And if you do ask them to do something, come get back because they moving so slow. Just get out of my way. So I don't know what the case was, at McDonald's. But sometimes these children be feeling like we be being mean to them when we putting a little fight to our words and it might come out a little hard, but you gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, I'm not saying to bully nobody, but what we think that, you know what, you come home and tell your parents, the manager was being mean. Baby, the manager was being a manager. And if the manager don't manage and do what they got to do, the fucking place, the business will be all over the place. So sometimes people don't be being mean. And I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just using this to help somebody that this won't happen again. And if you don't like something or somebody treating you, you call and report them and go find you somewhere else to work. But taking somebody's life and we sitting up here trying to uphold this and camouflage this is not right. We all have been through something. If we haven't been through something, we going through something right now. Life be lifing, and I understand that. It happened to me. But at the same time, I'm not taking nobody's life to be going to sit in the jail cell, and I still don't have those 40 hours. Now you might have to go out there and work for free. You think you was being bullied at McDonald's. Wait till you see how they bully you in jail. Come on, bro. We got to watch and be careful for the things that we sign up for. That's all I'm saying. This was unnecessary and uncalled for. We all have been through things and we all go through things. But I would never pick up a weapon to hurt nobody unless they come behind these closed doors to hurt me. Then I'm going to put you on your ass. Hugs and love. Y'all be blessed, J-Lo. Mwah.
Look, that girl who unalived her manager in Detroit, I just went down a whole rabbit hole of just like some videos from her. Baby. And then to find out that she have poked someone before. Yeah. The first time, they should have gotten that girl serious mental help. Because she got some type of borderline personality, something. She need a psych ward. And I'm not saying this just because she poked the lady and unalived her over the job. Like, if you go down the rabbit hole, you seriously understand that this lady need more help than just prison. Like, I feel like she would make a poker in prison and use it. Like, yeah.
The lady who offed her manager at McDonald's, yeah, because the lady been being bullied by that same manager, and the manager ended up losing her life over bullying that woman. I feel like, yes, both parties are wrong. The manager should not have been bullying that lady, and that lady should have never offed her. But you don't know what type of mental capacity or what somebody is going through, and yet you over here is still giving this lady a hard time every single day. That happens a lot of times when it comes to bullies. But y'all wait till it's too late to actually do something about it. And that's why that lady is gone now. She no longer has her life anymore because y'all didn't correct her behavior. And y'all over here saying, oh, the lady should have went to corporate. Corporate is always going to look out what's best for the company. Even if she went to corporate, corporate would have turned on her.
And I'm not going to cap. Where was the videos uploaded at? Because these franchises, these companies and shit, they be seeing everything we post. So how the fuck is they seeing this girl post all this shit and they ain't say nothing, but that nigga who's buttering them biscuits got fired though? I ain't gonna lie, y'all talking about watch how y'all treat people, but y'all could clearly see that something was wrong with that lady. That Phoenix Risen, or Risen Phoenix, Rising Phoenix, whatever her name is, the sunglasses and beanie combo told me everything I needed to motherfucking know. Yeah, watch how you treat people, but at the same time, that lady said she didn't want that lady to call her by her name. Like, she didn't want that lady talking to her. She didn't want that she was over that lady. And that's what makes it premeditated. She have all these videos stating how that lady treated her and how she was over it and how she felt like she was being pushed. Or, I don't know if the lady actually pushed her or not, but I couldn't tell by the way this girl was, like, talking. Like, the way she was talking, you could tell she meant everything she said. Like, she really felt like she was being bullied. She felt like she was being harassed in her own workspace. But at the same time, ain't no job in the world worth my freedom. And that's facts. So if I feel like somebody was so irrational and just so, like, impossible to work with, bitch, I'm gonna quit. Fuck wrong with you? Bitch, I'm gonna go work at Wendy's right across the street. Fuck you talking about? I'm gonna beat your ass and go work at Wendy's. The fuck? But everybody don't think like that. And then not only that, I'm not victimizing the person who did the crime because we don't get to see the other person's point of view. By the look of the aesthetic, you could tell like something is like not spiritually, I wouldn't say off, but you could tell she's into a little deeper and darker things. So her bringing that knife, she meant business. She stood on that. She meant that was unfair to her. She wanted to get that point across. Watch how y'all treat people.
Jennifer Harris should still be alive. Her children should not be without a mother. And Afeni Muhammad or Phoenix Rising should not have reached a place where violence felt like the only outlet. While the courts will determine the legal guilt, the rest of us must ask ourselves what kind of environment breeds these outcomes and what can we do to stop it from happening again. This tragedy is not just a crime story. It's a wake-up call, one that reminds us to check in on our coworkers, to advocate for mental health care, and to extend grace where it's needed. Because behind every uniform, every shift, and every tired face clocking in a fast food restaurant, there's a human being just trying to survive. And this tragedy demands that we as a society push for stricter enforcement of workplace safety regulations, mandate comprehensive mental health support in all employment sectors, and cultivate a culture of empathy that prioritizes human well-being over profit margins. I can only hope that corporations as large as McDonald's begin to truly prioritize mental health. An employee assistance program is the least they can offer, and no one should feel so overwhelmed, unsupported, or unheard that violence feels like their only option. It's time to care for the people behind the counter, not just the customers in front of it. So that's what I think mostly about this topic. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And thank you so much for listening to Books and Looks TV. I'll see y'all next time.